All right, buckle up, because we're diving headfirst into a world where books are basically contraband.
Oh yeah, Ray Bradbury's Fahrenheit 451.
Exactly.
If you're digging into literature, get ready for a wild ride.
You'll be unpacking symbolism.
Themes that still hit home today.
And Bradbury style. Forget about it.
It sticks with you long after you finish the book.
So we're talking dystopian future.
America,
where
knowledge,
especially the kind you find in books, is like...
dangerous, right?
Totally.
Picture this. Firemen.
But instead of putting out fires,
They're
starting them.
burning books.
Our main man, Guy Montag.
He's one of these firemen.
At first, he's all in.
Believes in the whole thing.
Then he bumps into Clarice McClellan.
This teenager who's like...
totally everything.
curious, connected to nature.
Everything, this society is like, nope, do.
She's seeing the world in full color.
Everyone else is stuck in black and white, you know.
Her impact on Montag, he starts questioning everything.
The comfort.
Yeah.
The conformity. His whole life, basically.
That internal battle between what he's always known and what he's starting to feel.
That's the engine of the whole story.
Montag realizes that maybe, just maybe,
the stuff in those books,
it's not something to be afraid of.
It's something to hold on to.
To treasure.
So he starts doing something super risky in this world.
Hiding books.
And reaches out to Faber,
a former English professor.
This little spark of resistance.
Against this crushing society.
Talk about a gamble.
Big time.
And it puts him on a collision course.
With the authorities, especially his fire chief, Captain Beatty.
Beatty.
Fascinating guy.
Smart.
Well-read.
But he's like the poster boy.
For the state's oppressive ideology.
He says, books equal unhappiness and rebellion.
A society without books.
Sisha, he says.
Almost like he's trying to convince himself too, you know?
It's strange, isn't it?
Yeah.
Beatty gets the power of literature.
Even quotes from books.
But he's afraid of it.
His internal struggle.
It shows how seductive control can be.
And the lengths people go to
keep it.
Even if it means
squashing knowledge. And they have Mildred.
Montag's wife.
The flip side of that struggle, right?
Literally.
She's lost in the shallow entertainment.
Addicted to their version of interactive TV.
Parlor walls.
They dominate their lives.
Bradbury nailed it with these parlor walls.
They're like this perfect example of technology gone wrong.
Not to connect.
But to isolate.
And manipulate.
Mildred's completely detached from reality.
Even betrays Montag.
Turns him in for having those books.
It's heartbreaking, you know.
It is.
She chooses blissful ignorance.
Over the challenge of real knowledge.
Makes you wonder if we do the same sometimes. Choose easy distractions.
Over the maybe uncomfortable truths.
That come with knowledge.
That's the power of Fahrenheit 451.
For sure.
It holds a mirror up to us.
Makes us ask the tough questions.
About our relationship with technology, information, and even truth itself.
Okay, so we've got this pressure cooker situation. Montag hiding books, questioning his whole world.
Surrounded by people who are either scared of knowledge
or totally numb to it. What happens next? Stay tuned for part 2 to find out.
Welcome back.
Let's jump into some of those big moments in Fahrenheit 451.
The ones that really show that fight between ignorance and knowledge.
Right off the bat.
We see Montag swiping a book.
During a raid.
Might seem small.
But for him,
turning point.
It's like he's finally waking up.
That one book.
Starts this whole chain reaction. He can't stop.
He tries to share it with Mildred, right?
But she freaks out.
Tries to destroy the thing.
This is tragic.
She's like the embodiment of Beatty's whole deal.
Conditioned to think happiness means avoiding anything.
Anything that might make you uncomfortable or make you think too hard.
And her friends.
Same thing.
You see Montag trying to talk about something real.
They just shut down.
It's scary, you know?
It is.
How a whole society could be tricked into fearing knowledge.
Fearing thinking for themselves.
Beatty, he's the master of that.
Uses this twisted logic, even quotes from books.
To justify censorship.
His books just lead to unhappiness and arguments.
A society without them is peaceful, he says.
Right.
But there's this tension with Beatty.
Definitely.
He's smart, he knows literature.
But he's dedicated his life to destroying it.
Makes you wonder if he was drawn to books once.
And then got scared of their power.
He's such a complex character.
Tragic.
He gets the power of books.
But uses that understanding as a weapon.
To control everyone else.
Fears the chaos of free thought.
Open discussion.
So he goes all in on censorship.
The only way to have order and stability, he thinks.
Yeah.
Total opposite of Faber.
Who becomes Montag's, mentor, right?
The flicker of hope in this messed up world.
He sees the value in knowledge.
Encourages Montag to think critically.
To see past the propaganda.
Faber helps him understand.
Knowledge without action means nothing.
True enlightenment.
It's about sharing what you learn,
And fighting for what you believe in.
even if it means going against everyone else.
Which brings us to
The showdown.
Montag and Beatty.
This clash of ideology.
Those who want to control information.
And those who believe in individual thought.
The tension in that scene.
You can feel it.
Beatty's like this devil on Montag's shoulder,
Pushing him.
taunting him,
Almost begging him to rebel.
and Montag snaps.
In this moment of desperation and anger.
He turns the flamethrower,
On Beatty.
the tool of his oppression.
Against the very thing it represents.
It's so symbolic.
Yeah.
He's not just destroying Beatty,
He's destroying censorship itself.
but now he's a fugitive.
Hunted by the authorities.
And that mechanical hound,
Talk about relentless.
it's like this symbol of their pursuit,
Of anyone who dares to question them.
the fight for knowledge and freedom.
It comes at a price.
But Montag doesn't give up,
He follows Faber's plan,
escapes the city,
holding on to the hope,
that there are others out there,
who love books.
and he finds them,
This community of book people,
living on the edges of society.
each one dedicated to preserving knowledge.
The knowledge that's been wiped out.
They've memorized whole books,
Living libraries,
ready to pass those stories down.
such a powerful image.
Of resilience.
The human spirit's refusal to let knowledge die.
They gather as the city is bombed.
The destruction of the old order.
The society that tried to control them,
Is survival.
it means hope,
Even in the face of that destruction.
the love of knowledge.
The power of stories.
It endures.
But what happens now?
How do you rebuild from the ashes of a society?
That tried to erase its own history.
We'll explore that.
In the final part of our deep dive.
Into Fahrenheit 451.
Okay, so we're back, wrapping up our journey through Fahrenheit 451.
We've seen Montag's whole transformation.
The chilling reality of this book-burning world.
And that glimmer of hope?
From those who are like, nope, knowledge is staying alive,
Yeah.
they're facing the big question.
Yeah, to rebuild.
After everything's been blown apart,
It's powerful, you know?
Montag and those book people,
Walking back toward that wrecked city.
they're not just survivors,
They're like pilgrims
carrying all that history and knowledge.
into a future that's totally unknown.
It's like they're carrying the seeds of a new society,
Yeah.
ready to plant them.
In the ashes of the old one.
But where do you even start?
When your whole foundation was built on ignorance,
And fear.
they think the answer lies in the very thing that was almost wiped out.
Stories.
They see themselves as living libraries,
Each one holding on to those words and ideas.
ready to share those stories,
With a new generation.
hoping to spark a different kind of future.
It's like going back to the roots of storytelling.
Right.
Passing down wisdom through the spoken word.
But it's not just about reciting words.
It's about getting the ideas.
The different viewpoints that literature gives you.
Exactly.
It's
Yeah.
about encouraging critical thinking, debate.
Embracing the messiness of human experience. All the things that old society tried to crush.
They know true knowledge takes work.
It's not a freebie. You have to chase it down. Wrestle with it.
Make it your own.
It's like Bradbury's warning
It's
us.
about the real danger.
Not the fire.
It's getting too comfortable.
Being so afraid of discomfort.
That we stop questioning, stop thinking.
Fahrenheit 451 is a big wake-up call.
Knowledge isn't just power.
It's responsibility.
To engage with ideas.
Challenge censorship.
Keep that curiosity burning.
So what does this all mean for you, dear listener?
Maybe it's time to pick up a book that makes you think.
Or find new voices, new perspectives.
The kind that push you out of your comfort zone.
Maybe it's a call to have those tough conversations.
Question what you're being told.
Rediscover the joy of exploring ideas that make you think, feel.
And grow.
Because the future isn't just something that happens.
We created
Word by word.
idea by idea.
Story by story.
And that's a responsibility we can't forget.
So well said.
And on that note, we're wrapping up our deep dive into Fahrenheit 451.
But the conversation doesn't have to end here.
Keep those mental gears turned.
Never stop exploring the power of literature.
Until next time.
Keep those pages turning.